Say welcome back.
Welcome back.
This is part 2 of our mark making video. Tell them what materials we're going to use now.
We're going to use Sharpies.
Yeah, Sharpies. So once again, if you don't have Sharpies, that's okay. Maybe a regular pen or pencil or regular markers or even crayons.
Yeah.
So you want to just make sure you're picking a contrasting color so that it shows up. Like if you have light colors on your paper, maybe use a darker color.
Like this color we can use.
You're going to use that beautiful bronze. That's lovely. So here's her paper. You can see she had her beautiful oranges and reds, and she used a lot of the coffee and tea, and then she used some real watercolors here, right?
Yeah, and this is the lava. And this is some watercolor too, Mom.
Oh, okay. I love kids' imaginations. We all have a great imagination, don't we? And when you're so young, you aren't feeling inhibited. So I hope that you can capture some of that imagination you used to have when you were younger in your artwork. Here's my paper. So one thing I did was after we finished our last video, I actually went and got my hair dryer and I dried this so that it would dry faster. And what I thought was really kind of cool is that the hair dryer, the heat and the pressure of the hair dryer pushed some of the water on my paper. And so I held it over the sink so it could kind of drip and ooze together. And I thought those were some really cool effects. I'm loving, really, truly loving the coffee. This is mostly coffee on my paper, and tea. You can see here the blue and a little bit of red. That is watercolor that I use, but it's mostly coffee and tea. So I think if you only have those materials, that would be really, really interesting. So, you trying to see your hand in this too? There she is. Sorry about it's a little bit blurry, but that's this document camera, so it happens. So, anywho, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, you're gonna use that bronze color. I'm just gonna use black Sharpie to begin with. I'm gonna use the ultra fine Sharpie to get started, and I have no plan except that I want to make marks in different parts of the watercolor. This is going to be pretty abstract. I want to make patterns. I want to do different lines and different shapes. In the presentation that I shared with you is a video of one of my personal favorite stories that I share with students. It's called The Dot. And the best line, and if you were at school this year and you walked in the Connections hallway, my bulletin board was this theme this year, but it's called The Dot, and the best line in the book is make a mark and see where it takes you. And I love that idea. As an artist, I really like to start off by sometimes I'm stuck. I don't know where to begin or how to get started. And so what I'll do is I will sit there and I will start to create by mark making. And that's what this whole week is about. It's about experimenting with unusual materials.
And me too. I'm using this color just like Mommy. We're using the same color.
We are. We're both using the ultra fine Sharpie.
Yeah, we're both using the ultra fine Sharpie that's black.
Oh, sorry about all the how it's a little blurry, but anyways, as I was saying is sometimes I don't know where to get started, and so I love the idea of just making a mark and kind of seeing where it takes you. And that's exactly what's just happened. Is I started by kind of outlining the highlights, which all the white space that I'm seeing, and it's turning out to look pretty interesting. And I love the contrast of the black with that coffee color. Probably within these sections, I might start adding some simple patterns. As well. There's almost something kind of geographical about this, sort of looks like a map in a way, which I think is kind of cool. I think I'm going to start drawing just some small circles and repeating that over and over again. Sort of, again, kind of seeing where that takes us. So this would be the first step I would suggest. It's hard to kind of guide you all on this because unless you just are sort of watching this process, because this is a very process-oriented assignment, as a lot of the assignments I've been giving you this 9 weeks so far is sort of using materials, using the materials that you have in your home and being creative with that. That's truly how you can learn. I mean, isn't that, there's a lot of studies that saying learning through playing is a really valuable way to educate yourself. And I believe that since we're at home right now, we can use that and really highlight that process of learning by just experimenting and being playful with whatever it is you want to learn and embracing your mistakes and learning from those. What did you want to say, Nora?
I need to tell you,
Yeah, we're going to turn this to you so you can tell them what you're working on. Absolutely. I love it. Don't worry about that.
I'm working on a map.
You're working on a map?
Yeah, I'm making a map how to get to the zoo from. I'm working on a map to get to the zoo in Alabama.
How come in Alabama? Just cause? That was the place you picked?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been to Alabama, Nora?
Have I, Mom?
Yes. You do have some family in Alabama. Your daddy's used to live in Alabama. Right? Mr. Conway, right? What does Mr. Conway teach?
I don't know.
What does Daddy teach?
Math?
Yeah, he's a math teacher.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of math.
Math is cool.
That's how to get there.
Very neat.
So you want me? I want to tell you what I'm working on second.
Tell us.
I'm working on a crazy roller coaster. I'm working on a Six Flags roller coaster.
A Six Flags roller coaster? So it's a map to a zoo and a Six Flags roller coaster. I love it. I love your imagination. You're doing such a great job. Very cool. So you can see some of my progress I've been making here as well. Again, I'm just making some marks and I'm trying to do some hatch lines right here to sort of give some shadows down on this part of the design. And I'm going to keep going with this idea. And I hope this helps you, and I'll post some pictures of some of our final products. All right. Say bye, Nora.
Bye.
I hope you guys are having fun with doing art at home, and I really hope that you're using this as an opportunity to have a creative outlet and have learned some ways of how you can use materials in your home and create art even when we're not in school. Bye.